Hi, I'm a higher ed social media manager and I have a confession. I've never heard of a comms department structured like the one at East Carolina University, and Jessica VanderKolk is here to tell us more about it. Welcome to Confessions of a Higher Ed Social Media Manager. I'm Li Fowler, award-winning social media professional, author, and podcast host, and a recognized voice across the social media marketing industry. Social media managers are navigating the wild, ever-changing world of higher ed communications, and I'm here to share the real stories and lessons behind the posts. Each episode explores the challenges, strategies, and untold moments that come with running social media accounts in today's digital landscape. Let's get into it. Jessica, I'm so happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be with you, Jenny.
I am so fascinated by sort of the communications department coverage in East Carolina University. So I have so many questions for you. But first, Jessica, you're a public communications specialist and social media is one of your responsibilities, right? And so can you tell us what an average day looks like for you?
Sure. I think also, as any communicators and social media managers would say, that an average day changes minute to minute. So one of the big ones is reviewing news requests. I am taking requests by email and by news submission form. So my platform of choice is Airtable, but there are many that do this. So there are probably listeners who use something different, or if you're not using anything, this is just one of those that will do that. And so our college will send me requests for things that they're doing. So this is usually our faculty and staff. They'll send a news item or event that they want help promoting, or they're doing a research project and they're looking for people to participate, just all sorts of things like that. And I will help determine how we best do that. So that could be social media posts. Often it is social media posts or a campaign, depending on what it is and the time frame. Sometimes I'll elevate that to a news story, or we might create a shorter form version of that for our college's blog. We might create a news release, put it on different calendars. Usually it'll be a combination of all those things.
Okay. And you are creating this content, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And you, if you do decide a social post is appropriate, you're creating the social post to be shared on the flagship social media channels. Is that correct?
The college social media channels.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
The colleges, which sometimes gets amplified by the flagship channel.
It does. Yes. And sometimes the flagship creates posts related to our college that we will share, or we will collaborate on posts. So it's a very fluid, collaborative environment.
Yeah. But again, technically your position is with the Central Comms Department.
Yes.
But your focus is the College of Fine Arts and Communications. So I know you got into this a little bit, but can you kind of tell us how this works?
Our university communications is mostly, that staff is mostly housed in one building location, which is an awesome historic house on a street at the edge of campus. And so we have a central social media team and digital team. We have main flagship staff writers and media relations folks who are part of Central Comms. And then we have our admin team there as well. Then we also have university photographers and a video team that are helping across campus.
Okay.
So that's our Central Comms team. And then we have our communication. I like to call us liaisons because that's basically what we are.
Yeah, that's the word I was going to use. You're
Yes.
almost a liaison, right?
Right. It's not in our title, but that's really what we're doing. So we have a health sciences campus here. And so we have 4 communicators that are located there. And then there are 8 of us, myself included, who are the main campus communicators. And so we are basically embedded in our areas, right? So we're geographically with our unit or area. And, speaking for myself, I am most often seeing and working directly with the folks in my college during the day to day. My office is with the college's main office, and my communicator colleagues are similar. So we're with the area we're covering, which is great because that's where all the news and information is, right? But, central comms is just down the street for me, or just a Teams message or an email away.
I think that makes a ton of sense, because if you're going to work with these folks every day, I think proximity to where they are helps so much with collaboration, right?
Collaboration is one of just the best and coolest things. So my college that I cover, Fine Arts and Communication, we have 4 schools within the college.
Wow.
And they are located in different buildings around campus. So I'll often be going to them to cover things or interview folks or talk to faculty or what have you. But we have, our college staff is right here in the building where my office is. And we just all collaborate so much, and we're able to just run up or down the stairs and brainstorm things. And so it's given us such forward momentum. I've been with ECU for about 1.5 years now, and it just feels like our momentum keeps rolling. So that's really exciting.
So, and that's exactly what I was going to ask you about. It's just like, do you just sort of serendipitously meet people or run into people and talk about ideas? And would you say just being in the same area has helped you build stronger relationships, which I'm sure helps with the vibe of working together and collaborating?
It does, for sure. And when I started here, one of the things I like to do anytime I'm starting with a new position and agency and everything is really like make the rounds and talk to people. So when I started here, I asked to attend faculty meetings because, that's when each of the schools, for example, gets everybody together before the academic year starts. And I could introduce myself and start meeting the people in the schools that I would get to be working with. And exactly what you said, you start building the relationships, and you're building the vibe you want to have with everybody, and letting them know that, I'm here for this college and for ECU, and to talk about the really great things that you're doing and the innovations and research that you're coming up with. And I'm really interested in that. And I want you to know that you're valuable and important, and I want to share your stories. So that's completely what helps build to those relationships and stories.
Yeah, and I do the same thing. Like it's I call it a listening tour, but it's like you go around, I buy coffee. I think that's, such a great like move. It's such a great tactic just to get to know everyone, right? And
yes, I agree. And especially when, in higher ed, we have a lot of buildings and we're spread all over the place. And so it's really nice to do that. Listening to her, I've called it my road show too. So,
no, I like that too. Yeah.
So it's just really nice to be able to go around and see people where they work and where they do their research and work with their students, and be a part of that and be able to share that.
So I know that you touched upon this. Can you kind of go into a little bit more detail about how you work with the central comms team, as well as the other liaisons. I know we're referring to them as liaisons in our conversation, but how do you work with the other liaisons as well? Are you finding that you are sort of have good partnerships with each other?
100%. Yes. I really like the system of how we do this work at ECU. So I've really been enjoying it. I think that this communications group has been set up really well to help everybody stay connected. And to me, that culture makes it really easy to reach out to each other, especially when we hear about some cool or new collaboration between two areas that we can work together on, which seems to come up a lot, which is really neat for us. We meet as a group monthly,
Wow.
typically. And so we'll get any information for the group from the admin and social media teams. And then we go around the room and share some of the bigger things that everybody's working on in their areas. And so hearing that from everybody makes it a great time to bring up possible collaborations and brainstorm how we can put something together, or if a project happening in one of the colleges or areas could use central comms support. And so it's really just a good chat time and brainstorm time. And so when we in our areas are writing stories or putting anything together, we can send it, but we send stories to central comms for editing, and we'll include other communicators if we're collaborating on something. Just so, our best work is going out there, the best versions of our stories. And we do that for news releases and things like that. And then for my college level work that, might stay on our college social media accounts or the college website, I'll often send that around to other staff members in the college. And that includes our blog, our social media posts, monthly events calendar, and a newsletter. And so, it's always to make sure we're staying on mission and staying on our goals and making sure that multiple eyeballs are on the things that we're sharing.
Sure.
So that always works really well. We do a lot of collaboration on social media too, and typically we'll tell each other if we're who's going to originate the posts, and if we're going to collaborate or tag or just give a heads up when there's a post coming, so that they can each of us can do all the engagement on our end and make sure that a story or a post is sharing in all the places we think it'll find a good audience.
Okay, so I have a bunch of questions, but it sounds so collegial. Is there any like jostling for, oh, we're going to do the original post, or you have to do this, or I'm going to do that? Is there any sort of like, I don't know, like jostling for having the lead? Am I making myself clear, or is that
Yeah, for sure.
okay?
I don't feel that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that this, in my experience so far, I think this group is super collegial.
Mm,
And it's, I mean, when I'm doing the work, I think the collaborations are really exciting because to me, it amplifies the stories more and just shows how much overlap and, cross education and collaboration there is in the higher education community. And so I think that's really exciting. It's great to have colleagues to share that load when we are collaborating. So,
mm,
if the other college I'm working with wants to originate the post, great. All I have to do is click accept on the collaboration. So
mm-hmm.
it's great to share in that together. And I don't really find much conflict in that.
That's awesome. And this monthly meeting, I mean, it sounds like everyone's gaining value from it. It's not just like, oh, like we have to attend this meeting. It sounds like there's like real information being shared. And
Right.
yeah, can you,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. It's a great way to keep up not only on what everybody's working on, but what's going on across campus and what potential there is to collaborate, or if it, if you heard something and it really just falls in somebody else's area, to, share heads up information about that. So it's the easiest way for us to do that, to come together as a group regularly, just because we are spread across campus.
Right, right. So you're in the same room, and actually you're sharing, you know, like solid, valuable information with each other. So
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
worth that. So A, I've never heard of a structure like this, and B, I kind of love the fact that y'all work together so well. There's no like, oh, that story isn't worth my time, you take it kind of thing. It's all kind of like, oh, that makes more sense for you to take it, so you take it kind of.
Right. I mean, in my experience so far, I certainly can't speak for everyone or all situations,
Oh
but
yeah. And
I
I
think
wouldn't
it,
want you to. I'm just like wanting to hear your experience. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's been great. I mean, there was even a time I had heard about um, a really great collaboration with we have a school of art and design in our college, and that's visual arts. And there was a collaboration between them and our medical school, where they brought medical students over to the School of Art and Design to work with clay. Was one of the workshops they did at that time. And they were just trying to make a connection for the medical students to focus on mental well-being and well-roundedness, and
Mm.
how they're interacting in the medical settings by practicing art. And it was such a neat concept and story. And
Mm.
I picked it up right as I was about to leave for vacation. So I had sent it to two of our health sciences
Mm-hmm.
communicators and said, hey, this is coming up. I could go this date, but I'm about to leave for a week. Do you guys know about it? Are you interested in it? And one of them was just, it really struck him. And so he jumped right on it. He ended up writing the story, and, it worked out. Having worked as a team of one in the
Yeah.
past,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
amazing to have such a collaborative team
Right.
where everyone is, really interested in what's going on here, and being able to put those stories together.
I love that you said the word team, because it really is a team. Like, I think, you're kind of working in your own offices, but on these, these projects where you can bring someone in, it really is a team that you can work together with. Wow. We need
Right,
it.
right.
So it's so a lot of us at other universities, we are always talking about these silos and how we don't know
Mhm.
what other schools are doing, and sometimes like just trying to get a little bit of information from another department. It's like pulling teeth. It's like difficult. Would you say that you have a good idea of what the other schools are working on at this moment?
I
Like generally.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I think, we do get, I would say we get siloed in the fact that, I'm very heavily working on what's going on in this college, right? Because we use a digital workspace like many teams do.
Okay.
We have a place where we're logging stories that we're working on, for
Okay.
our different areas and everything, and we can all see that. So, when I go in there to put new stories in or whatever, I can see, what's kind of in the brainstorm stage and what's been scheduled, and kind of keep track of things that way. So I think that helps us to have a general idea of what's going on. And it just serves as a good reminder, because,
Oh,
the higher ed calendar is pretty cyclical, right? There are certain things that happen every year. but we get so into the day to day, we might not remember that. But so we can see what's coming and have a reminder of, oh, yeah, match day is coming up, or, there's the first day of classes content, or, whatever time of year it is, what might be coming.
Yeah. But what I love about that is that you have a space where it's transparent. If you wanted to see what someone else was working on, you can go there. Right. And I think what I also really love is that you have a contact in the other school. Like sometimes I am like, I don't know, who do I ask about this in the school of whatever,
Mhm.
and it sounds like you know directly who you can go to and you have a rapport with them.
Yes.
That's
Yes. And
amazing.
I'm glad you said that again, because when you introduced that question, I was thinking about that too. Having communicators covering different areas. Like if I have a question about something going on with the libraries, we have a
Hmm.
communicator who covers the libraries. So I'm going to reach out to him first, because I know he probably knows, or he knows where I
Hmm.
can find out.
Right. Like he knows or he'll point you in the right direction. But
Exactly. And,
that's your first
and the
person.
same goes for someone looking for something in fine arts and communication. So it really helps, like you said, to have that contact person to at least start with.
I I I honestly love this system. Um, how would you, I mean, it sounds like you would recommend this sort of like this structure to other people. Would right?
Listen, it having a team is so exciting and wonderful to have. Again, having worked in the other direction,
Mhm.
when you can have a team available for collaboration and, um
Like brainstorming, right?
yes, the
And
brainstorming, and just to know where where to get answers. And
right. Or
there are
just
so many great benefits
yeah.
to having a team. And it's funny, because at first it was a little jarring to have that level of team and collaboration, because
I mean, it's amazing. I bet. Like you're probably
right,
like, wait, what is this?
I
Yeah,
know.
I work
And
with you.
working
Yeah,
solo, I
yeah,
find that I can be really territorial about my stuff, right? Like, I did this and this is mine.
yeah, yeah.
But
That's the word I was looking for earlier. People aren't territorial over stuff.
yes, this is mine, and that stays right here. But we are a team, so I don't have to be territorial about it. Like, your students are working on this and my students are working on this. Well, whoever's
Amazing.
free can work on this. This is
Yeah.
great. If there are more of us who care about sharing these stories and being able to help each other give voice to
Mm.
what's going on here, then I feel like that's all the better. Like, I don't have to, do I feel it a little bit? Yeah, because this is the college I work for, and these are my people, and all that. But but it's
But
not
at
as deep and serious.
well, at the end of the day, they're actually helping you tell their stories too, right? Which is the
Right,
most
right. We
important
have
thing.
the
Yeah.
same goal here. We want to
Yes.
tell all these stories and elevate and amplify ECU's story and mission and everything. So it's great that we have such a dedicated team available to us to do that together.
Sounds like a dream, Jessica. Um, so I have a question for you. What is your confession?
Okay.
Oh, big sigh.
This is one that I feel has taken me a long time to really come to, years of experience and all of that, but I highly recommend it to others. And that is just being honest about what I do, both in the skill and the time it takes, because I hear this
Mm.
conversation over and over in communication and social media circles, in that it's not necessarily a position that is understood, and that it is a skilled, legitimate position in an agency. And so I have found that I've learned to be honest about what that looks like and what it
Mm,
takes. And so I've been incredibly fortunate in my career in the public sector communications to have bosses who either understand that or
mhm.
are willing to listen to the realities of what that looks like in a communications role that often involves multiple jobs and demands and hours depending on what kind of institution you're working for. And so I know not everybody has that, and that's difficult, but I think maybe even more so if you don't, it's really important to try to be as transparent as possible about what it takes to do that right. You don't just throw up a post. It can take all
Mhm.
day to get
Oh,
the
please.
right images and
Yeah.
figure out what that text looks like and make sure it's accessible and all the things that go into that. So I think making sure that you're transparent about what that looks like will help in others understanding of what it looks like, and hopefully giving you the grace and hopefully the resources to keep doing that to the best of your ability.
I love that. So is your confession kind of that you were not as transparent or as honest with yourself or with others?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
I love it.
Starting out, I started out in public sector comms solo. And so I didn't really know what that looked like. You just do
You
everything,
just do
right?
it. Hmm.
That everybody asks of you. And you have to learn and work with supervisors too, right? About your boundaries and how you can show up as your best
Yeah.
professional while maintaining your own personal wellness. And so yeah, I definitely learned how to set boundaries well, what that could look like based on the role I'm in, and make sure that you're communicating that internally, right? You have to be not only a good communicator for your institution and external audiences, but also internally for yourself and who you're working with directly, so that you can do your best work and also be your best self.
I love that. I love that advice. So thank you for sharing. And just something new that we've integrated into the podcast is office hours. So is there something that you would like to ask me?
Yes, I would.
Tell me.
Well, most of my best practices I've learned from peers in the industry and trying things out and keeping what works in my own space. So
Yeah.
because I am fairly new to the higher ed space, I wanted to ask you what your favorite tool or best practice is, either for higher ed in particular or just social media in general that you've picked up along the way. A best practice, something that you do that, is helps you in your space.
This probably translate across the board, but I think maybe a little bit more, it's a little bit more necessary in higher ed is that I'm constantly like educating as I go, right? So like I just assume that the person that I'm reporting to or like the person that I'm trying to explain something to is probably not a digital native, right? And so I explain everything on as I'm talking. So I'm like the Facebook views, which recently Meta changed their lexicon from impressions to views. So they're the same thing. So as I'm talking, I just define things as I go. So I'm like, we just posted this Instagram reel, which is a vertical video in the Instagram platform. And so I just don't assume anything, define as I go. And one thing that I have always found really helpful is in all of my social media reports, I usually do like a monthly brief. On the bottom of the report, I put a glossary. And so
Yes.
it says like a story is, an option in Instagram that disappears after 24 hours. I put all of the things, the words, that are very jargony On the bottom of every social media brief, social media report, all my reports that I send out. So that's my tip, I guess I'm going to share. I hope that's helpful.
I like that a lot. And I think that really speaks to the fact that plain language is really important in what we do, and also helps people who feel awkward asking what something is. You've provided it for them automatically, so they don't even have to worry about it.
Right. And they will lose interest in you like this if they think that you're talking about things they don't know or understand, you know?
Right.
So I'd rather have them interested and wanting to ask questions.
For sure. I like that tip.
Jessica, I learned about a whole new communications department structure I had not known even existed. So it was very, very encouraging to talk to you. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I've had a great time.
Thanks for listening to Confessions of a Higher Ed Social Media Manager. This show is a proud member of the Enrollify network, home to Higher Ed's largest collection of podcasts. Enrollify is where higher ed goes to grow, so be sure to check out our other podcasts, webinars, video clips, blogs, and more. Visit enrollify.org and subscribe for all the latest details and content drops directly to your inbox. Enrollify is brought to you by Element 451, the digital workforce platform for higher ed. Learn more at element451.com.